What is up, tankers? Spang here, bringing you another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This time it is a replay sent in from Andrew Kai. I believe this is the third or so replay he has sent in, and it is going to be a standard battle on mines. The teams seem rather even, so it's really going to come down to player skill. He is platooned up with two of his clan mates, and hopefully the three of them will be able to win this for their team, or at least be a significant contributor for winning it. There will be some very interesting moments, I am quite certain. At least I hope so. That's what I hope when you guys send me in replays. Now, both Andrew here and that other KV-1S he is platooned with having the large caliber 122, 390 average damage with 175 average penetration. Quite the potent gun, if I do say so. One of the more powerful tier 6 guns, though it is slower firing to compensate, so DPS being probably about the same, if not a little less. But enemy tanks have to beware that first powerful punch. There we go, one shot just eating nothing but rock, and I just realized the minimap is quite small, so let me fix that, and there we go. So now that we can see what's going on elsewhere on the map, a significant push center, two tier 7s, that KV-3 and this SU-122-44, both going to engage this KV-1S push that Andrew Kai and his clanmate are doing. The Hellcat, or is that an M36? Didn't they rename that recently? No, it is still the Jackson. Okay, so the M36 Jackson, it used to be the M36 Slugger for those of us back around when it was recently renamed. If you're new to the game, you don't know it as anything else, but the enemy team having a decent push, though nothing Andrew's team can't handle. They are up by 2 tanks, and Andrew getting rammed a bit by his teammate there, knocking his shot off target. That is one of the more irritating things that can happen in this game. Though the one point of concern I have here is Andrew's team seems to be ignoring the eastern side, the town. So if the enemy team decides to do a significant push, the enemy will be able to push a decent bit before actually running into anything. That's not really much of a problem considering there is no artillery on this map. Wow, all the enemy's tier 7s just went center. That SU-122-44 is dead, but the Panther, the KV-3, and the T-29 all here. An enemy KV-1S also using that larger caliber heavy hitting gun coming into the fray, though the enemy team coming at them piecemeal. That is their biggest mistake at this point. Essentially just feeding tanks into the tank grinder, the metal shredder, if you would. It's not really a meat grinder because, hell, they aren't made of meat. We've already gone over this. Tanks aren't made of meat, people. Significant enemy push in the center, but it does not look like it will be able to get through Andrew Kai and his team. Though the M6 getting eliminated, it's not really a heavy hitter. For those of you who have not played the American Heavy line, the M6 really isn't something that is feared. And rightfully so. It's quite a subpar tank, or just an average tank. The KV-1S should be feared, however. This Panther is going to get a significant hit, bouncing a shot off the incredibly angled armor that Andrew Kai presented to him. The Panther should have taken a side shot, but, you know, not really anything he can do about it now. Andrew calling for help from his team, though him and his clanmate seem to be having the situation quite on lockdown. The M7 going to get shot by the Jackson and then by Andrew. Good kill. The enemy's really down by 2 tanks at this point, having lost a tier 7. Andrew's team having yet to lose any of their tier 7s, and the center being held by 3 tier 6s. Andrew continuing to call for help, but to no avail. Although here comes one tank, it doesn't look like it's anything significant. It is a 30-01, so nothing that is going to do much against tier 7s if they play it right. But the enemy team really not playing it right, if I have to say. They've already lost one of their tier 7s, about to lose this Panther here, and hopefully Andrew Kai can get this kill. We shall see very shortly. There we go. Another tier 7 knocked out of the match. Their other 2 tier 7s really not doing well on hell, so the enemy team looking very poor for victory chances at this point. Andrew Kai up to 3 kills. Manuel, that's what I'm going to call him. I don't know if that's how you actually say it, but I'm calling him Manuel, up to 1 kill. And Fonz Jeffo up to 0 kills. So good for him. Not really. That's me being a bit sarcastic, a bit of a jerk. So the enemy team Their city push, not really a push at all. Their river push, however, moved quite up a bit, but still nothing significant. The enemy team is still down by 2 tanks and having lost 2 tier 7s, while Andrew's team still having all of their tier 7s. Not looking good for the enemy, but I mean, you don't ever want it to look good for the enemy, honestly. You want matches to always be in your favor. Unfortunately, that does not happen, but this is pretty much in the bag. I have to say, Andrew Kai's team really just has this on lockdown. That KV-3 going to be a one-shot if he can just penetrate that T-29. Absolutely a one-shot. And the enemy team really not having any sort of good actions they can take at this point. This is pretty much all said and done. T-29 getting eliminated. Another tier 7 gone off the field. I don't know what let's op means. Again, this server is using German, if I'm not mistaken, or at least his game client is using German, if I recall correctly. So I am assuming he is German, and he is playing on EU servers. So it's not, the game isn't quite speaking in a language I understand, but I don't care. That doesn't really influence my ability to commentate on what happens. Actions are universal, words, however, are not. But KV-3 probably going to get killed right here. Yes, kill number 4 for Andrew Kai. I believe Andrew has killed 3 tier 7s as a tier 6. Yes, he has. The SU-122-44, the KV-3, and that Panther. So he does get a good amount of experience from that. Anytime you kill any tank that is a higher tier than you, it is always beneficial. And come on, buddy. You should have gone into sights for that one. Really. Now, Andrew Kai really doing what I would highly recommend here, at least I hope he's about to do what I would recommend, which is what that Jackson is doing. If you observe on the mini-map, the Jackson moving into a flanking position, coming up behind those enemy tanks in the city. And that is what I would recommend that Andrew Kai do. However, he seems to be focused on just trying to push the center, though the enemy team having no chance whatsoever. Manuel and Fonz there, not at quite the 3-kill mark. They have almost gotten brothers in arms. Fonz almost there. Well, Fonz getting to the 3-kill mark, and hopefully Manuel here going to kill this A-20, who seems to be hell-bent on trying to ram him to death. Unfortunately, missing the ram, and there we go. Manuel will get the final kill, getting each of them brothers in arms. So good teamwork between those 3, holding the center basically against an onslaught of enemy tanks. If they had pushed, if the enemy team had pushed them, they would have been easily to overwhelm them, because all 4 of the enemy team's tier 7 tanks were in the center, easily capable of overwhelming 2 KV-1Ss and a Jackson and an M6. I mean, let's face it, if the enemy team had been a bit more coordinated in the center, this match could have gone very differently. As it stands, they lost by 9 tanks. So the enemy team really just throwing that one away. And I don't mean to discount Andrew Kai's teamwork at all. That Jackson got up in the center, had a crossfire on any tanks that advanced towards Andrew or Manuel, and then they had really good teamwork going, because they would both do a double tap method. Essentially, one would shoot, the other would shoot, and then they would both fall back, doing massive amounts of damage for a tier 7, tier 6 match. Approximately 800 points of damage, which is enough to kill a tier 6, and it is enough to do more than half health to a tier 7. So well played by them, and certainly a good match. Not one of the best matches, but I mean, it's those matches that I'm referring to as the quote-unquote best matches are once in a blue moon, if you get what I'm saying. Very rare, and certainly this was commentary worthy. So brothers in arms between 3 people, a lot harder to do than a 2-person platoon. I will admit that readily. I do have several brothers in arms. Well, I say several, I mean 7. And but that's simply because I don't platoon up that much. Anyway, well played, Andrew Kai. If you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you got a replay, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. Just follow the submission protocols in the submission protocols video that will be up on my channel by the time this is on. So, with nothing else to say, this has been Spang, and I am signing off.